What would you like to hear from the president tonight?
I'd like to hear the president express his vision for the rest of this year, how to get the economy back on track, but really to talk about the successes of this tax reform bill and just how much it's meaning already to families across this country. And one other thing I think that would be important is if the president reached out to all of those millions of Americans who over the last 8 years just gave up looking for work. Now's the time. We need them back in the workforce. We need them to get back out looking for jobs, because there are companies now looking to hire people. They're giving raises and bonuses. Every day we're seeing more companies. Yesterday, ExxonMobil, $50 billion of new investment because of President Trump's tax cut bill. So I think talking about just how powerful this is, just how vibrant the economy is going to be, and encouraging people to come and be part of this great American economy who gave up because of 8 years of malaise.
So you hit on one of the 5 areas that White House spokesperson Hogan Gidley told us about just moments ago. And among that list, too, is immigration. So I want to ask you about a meeting that you had yesterday with the DHS Secretary showing up, Nielsen, about DACA, the Dreamers, immigration. What happened that you can share with us?
Well, I asked Secretary Nielsen to come and talk with the WHIP team. It's about 80 members of our conference that help us move our agenda forward. And, you know, she expressed what the president is interested in. We have legislation of our own. Chairman Goodlatte of the Judiciary Committee's worked with Chairman McCall and a lot of our members who have divergent views on immigration. But the main things that we want to do, and the principles of the president and us are the same. Number one, you've got to secure the border. You've got to start building the wall. Put the technology and tools in place so that we can actually get back to rule of law. And I think President Trump has made that very clear and is doing a great job of it. And then work on interior enforcement. There are so many loopholes Secretary Nielsen talked about. Things like if a country won't take a felon back, we have to keep them here in America. And she has no flexibility in some of these areas of immigration that we need to give her flexibility on so that she can keep America safe. And we talked about all of that. Clearly, DACA is a controversial issue that we want to fix. We want to fix it the right way, and obviously there's a lot of discussion about how best to do that.
Yeah, Congressman Scalise, you've got Lamar Smith and a few others who really don't like that term amnesty and say that the number of people that you would give a citizenship to is twice as many that Barack Obama gave when he was president. There's some strong criticism coming from inside your party per the president's plan and his ideas on this matter. What does the president need to say about Dreamers and DACA? Because he's going to have some of them as members of Congress on the Democrat side are planning to bring some special guests.
Yeah, well, as Secretary Nielsen talked about, the DACA population, which are the people who actually signed up for the program, is about 690,000 people. If you're not careful and you have a broader definition, it could go to the millions. And I don't want that to happen. I want to make sure that we're clearly defining what was already in the DACA order and say no more. People came here and they played by the rules. Let's figure out how to address that. That's going to be, again, a big part of how we come to a consensus, and there's not one yet, but we're working to get to a consensus on that.
So the questioning, if you will, has to do with how do you show the people in this country who came here illegally as children that you've got them and that you get it, and also get legislation done. So what would you like to hear the president say? What kind of line does he walk tonight?
I think you would probably see the president reach out to them and say, look, they came here through no fault of their own. President Obama created that process that was not in law. It was executive action. And he said, look, just come here. We'll figure out what to do with you later. And he left those kids in limbo. And that was wrong. President Trump actually wants to solve that problem. Now, how do we solve it? I would agree with Chairman Smith. I don't support amnesty. I think maybe a legal status where you say, look, if you're here, we're going to give you a status, and then you can get in the line like everybody else who wants to become an American citizen. You can't get ahead of the line. You get in the back of the line and wait like everybody else, but you can wait here in America. That, I think, would be a big win to a lot of people who right now are in limbo, and we need to fix that.
You know, Congressman Scalise, you, among so many, can talk about the divide there in Washington, and there's bitterness in that. What do you think the president needs to say about that tonight?
Well, I think the president needs to be optimistic. Look, people across this country, they don't want to see fighting and bickering. There are big differences we have. And you know what? That's something we're prideful of. I mean, one of the great things of America is that we can all express our views. You ought to do it in a civil way, though. Violence is not the answer, and all of this hyper-partisan talk doesn't help. But I think showing an inspiring vision for this country and how we can get back to the greatness of America. President Trump has been doing that in his actions, and I think talking more and sharing that more with the millions of people who are going to be watching tonight will be helpful for them to see what they might not see in the regular mainstream news, but what President Trump has already been doing that give people real opportunity that didn't have it before.
It's great to hear from you on that perspective. We appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thanks. Great being with you.